So this video is a collection of questions that were sent to me whenever I asked for them in celebration of 1,000 subscribers. I wanted to give any of you guys out there the opportunity to ask me a question. A lot of you asked me the same questions, but that's okay. I ended up with around 60, I believe, maybe exactly 60, I don't remember, but good questions, decent questions, questions that will help you get to know who I am as a person if you care to do so. If not, this is not the video for you. Alright. Let's get into it. I hope simply to entertain and amuse others. Obviously, I want what every other narrator and YouTuber wants. I would like to be able to do this full time and make enough money to at least live. If that happens, great. If not, well, then I guess it doesn't happen. Honestly, when I started this, I was just doing it for fun with no expectations. That depends if you mean in general authors or narrators. As far as authors are concerned, I would say people like Nate Nelson, PA Nightmares, Ghost Ink, and Beautiful Nightmare have probably been tops. All three of them have a lot of passion for what they create. As far as narrators are concerned, I've enjoyed working with a lot of people, but I'd probably have to push TDN Horror Stories to the absolute top. There's a reason he and I do a podcast together, honestly. Honorable mentions include people like Tales to Chill, Creep Spaghetti, and Chronopasta. It's really hard to choose a favorite, honestly, but I'll list a few and why. First off, my thoughts on Mackenzie Weaver by Nate Nelson was probably one of the most fun stories to read. It is a brilliantly written slasher story, and honestly, it was damn near perfect. Leather by Beautiful Nightmare was also a really good one that launched me into narrating a number of her stories, and stories in that style. As for stories written by people that I don't normally work with, the story The Plague Doctor by Reddit user Soulforger is probably one of the stories that I wish would have been continued or further expanded. Alright, so here's the honest answer on this one. Back in December of 2019, I was a cybersecurity instructor for a bootcamp run by a local college. As an instructor, I was tasked with standing in front of 16 adults that mostly had no knowledge of IT or technology, really. I had to give lectures and explain the fundamentals of security. I also had to record myself when I taught the classes, and upload the audio so that they could watch the classes at their leisure. Having to read from my lecture plans taught me how to effectively read things into a microphone so that others could listen and understand them. On top of that, one of my students said that I had a decent voice for audio recordings as he had to go back and listen to the lectures. From here, my original intent with recording was actually to record some cybersecurity classes for Udemy or Udacity or something like that. But then I found out that my closet had really good sound deflection, I guess. The clothing in there helped dampen the sound. And I randomly started thinking about the channels I used to listen to, like Let's Read, Swamp Dweller, Your Maker, Southern Cannibal, and I just kind of decided to do it. I sent out somewhere close to 50 requests to Reddit users, and a lot of them said yes, so I did it. I hate to say that I don't really have a super inspiring story, but on the other hand, it kind of is inspiring, right? I decided to do it, so I just did it. You have to take hold of the things that you want to do, and take the leap of faith and just do it. I barely have plans for next week, and you want future plans for the channel. Okay? Honestly, I just want to keep going. I have this feeling internally that the golden age of narration is probably over and done with, so I don't think I'll become super big, but you know what, that's fine by me. I would love to do this full time, like for a living, but honestly, I just want to keep going. Based on current growth and trending on my channel, I would say that 1,500 by the end of the year is reasonable. Alright, so let's talk about how messed up this question is to ask someone like me. Starting with that first part, shark diving. Thalassophobia and an inability to swim would basically guarantee that I would die. Acrophobia would guarantee that I would die if I were skydiving because I would likely pass out and forget to pull my parachute. This leaves bungee jumping, which would also trigger the acrophobia, but at least I would not be a guaranteed casualty. So among the three of them, I would choose bungee jumping, I guess. Best cheesy pickup line. Do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk by again? Don't ever use that. The Toy Story series, up to the third one. The third one should have been the end, and the fourth one does not need to exist. I would go with I Einstiersende Nubaten. 5 total, kind of. 2 cats that we own, CJ and Mitzi. 1 cat that we take care of but do not own, and that's Tyler. You guys should already know about him. Then we also have a red-eared slider turtle named Turtwig and a Greek tortoise named Mr. Future. I actually have done a blooper video one time because I was trying to say skated and said skyetted. I will, however, most likely do a better and more complete blooper video. My mess-ups just aren't the best, but sometimes they are pretty good.
No.
You know, I keep asking him that same question, and he never seems to have a solid response. His response is usually just meow or murr, and then he falls asleep or walks away. I've told him several times that he needs to get a damn video done, and he just still has not done anything with the channel. So anytime you don't see a video on my channel, but you are expecting one, just assume it was his fault and he didn't get his job done. Oh good, deepest fear question. Heights, water, but most of all, social situations. Agoraphobia is strong with me. Have I ever mentioned to you guys, or anyone listening, how much I absolutely hate this question? I don't really watch horror movies, but let's say Hellraiser in the end. I'm more into psychological thriller movies, Donnie Darko, Zodiac, a few that I've seen on Netflix, but I'm just not much into horror movies, to be honest with you. I do. I have watched the entire series of Fullmetal Alchemist, both original and Brotherhood, and I also enjoy the less than brutal animes like Is the Order a Rabbit or Love Live. Have y'all ever seen a wet baby bird? Because they are not pretty. This question should be more like, which do you watch more? Because I'm not gonna play favorites. If I had to choose, I would say Nightmind and Nexpo have probably gotten the most views from me and most watch time, but I also love narrators like Your Maker, Southern Cannibal, and others that I've mentioned. Now, if we're just talking YouTube channels in general, definitely Vinesauce, Greystow Plays, and Bill Wirtz are my top 3 that I've watched the most. Favorite video on my channel? April 1st kitten rating video. Well, I mean, I also do cold case and true crime stuff. I've also done live streams with gaming, but honestly, for now, it's a majority narrations and probably always will be, but there will be other content randomly. Maybe someday I'll make a second channel. I have intentions and plans on that, but nothing solid at this point in time. babies. The creative ideas and collaborative efforts that tend to come into fruition within this community. A lot of people have some great and unique ideas when they make their channel and content. Keep it going? I'm not really sure how to answer this one, mostly because I'm already doing what I want with my channel. I enjoy making my videos for the group of people that enjoy them, and if it grows, great. If not, well, so be it. I have to, once again, point to Mr. Nate Nelson's Mackenzie Weaver story. It was a perfect slasher story, and the views poured in pretty quickly on that one. It's a damn good story, and I really feel like it made a new baseline for quality of content on my channel. As far as channels go, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Your Maker, Let's Read, Southern Cannibal, Mr. Creepypasta, Swamp Dweller, the list just kind of keeps going on, honestly. Please see answer to previous question. Lord of the Rings. Not really. Some of the Glitch in the Matrix stories are a bit creepy, I guess, but I really don't scare easily. Are we talking poems only? Because if so, I would say Dream Within a Dream, The Sleeper, and Eulalume. Okay. Ghost Eater, The Temple, and The Hound, all three of which I have narrated. I, once again, hate this question, but let's go with 13 Ghost or Hellraiser as the best one and Midnight Meat Train as the worst. Mitzi once ran at full speed into a sliding glass door. George Carlin or John Mulaney or Office Space, the movie, or also Idiocracy. Best books I've ever read: Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. Worst book I ever read: Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Cannot stand that book. Godzilla, literally no competition. Why would I choose a big monkey? I like Wendigos, they're pretty cool. And as for SCPs, I'd go 022 and 049. Is there literally an answer that is not Golem/Smeagol? Best book I've read this year. I've literally only read one book this year, and that's There's a Killer in My Town by Charlie Blackmore / Beautiful Nightmare. Now, if we tack last year onto that, I could say either Slaughterhouse-5 or Breakfast of Champions, both by Kurt Vonnegut. Yes. The age-old question, one that I knew would come around someday, and I would be faced with the expectation, nay, the requirement that I answer it. I knew that once somebody asked this, I would have to take a drink of water, fan myself in exasperation, take a deep breath, and pour my heart into my words. And I hope that as I answer this question, I do not lose fans, and I do not enrage those of you that have come to call yourselves my friend. Behold the controversy of the ages. SpaghettiOs. Patience was a friend of an ex back in middle school. She and I started talking after that in early high school. You mean other than myself? Favorite types of stories? True stories. I like the Glitch in the Matrix ones and the creepy encounter ones. Fiction stories. Literally anything that has a psychological aspect to it. For a good example of this, go watch I Survived an Exorcism, the story I narrated recently. Well, I used to work at Pizza Hut, so to answer that question, Dominoes. I have 2. No End House and Russian Sleep Experiment. This may be a controversial answer to this question, but honestly, Jack the Killer. I do not like that story or any of the ones that spawned from it. In this alternate reality, is Chris Farley still alive? Because if so, him. If not, Jack Black or Jake Gyllenhaal, I guess. Potentially gaming, ASMR, non-horror stories, kind of just random content, honestly. Answering this question based solely on the number of times that I have beaten and bought them, Resident Evil 4 and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, both on GameCube. I have narrated with a lot of people. Chronopasta, Stay Scared, Gentleman Raven, Tales to Chill, Jensen, Creep Spaghetti, TDN Horror Stories, and several more that I cannot think of right at this moment. As for who I would like to work with, there's the obvious. Lady Spicari, of course. Near future, planned on that. Stories After Midnight, Raven Reads. Honestly, I'm pretty damn open and willing to work with anyone that's a respectable member of this community. So who would you want me to work with? Comment below. Favorite author? Easy. I have 2. Douglas Adams and Kurt Vonnegut. I barely had plans for this celebration, and you want me to plan for 2,000 subs. Okay. I don't know. Probably some sort of classics or something like that. Here's an idea. How about you guys get me to 2,000 and we'll find out. Favorite comfort snack foods? Oreos. I've said that a number of times, honestly. If we're talking things like breakfast, biscuits and gravy. Pretty easy answer there. Other meals, BLTs and pizza. Very unhealthy stuff, but I love it all. I actually get this question a lot. I love ravens, and I love The Raven by Poe. Whenever I entered into this realm, was completely unaware of how many ravens there actually were in the community. I originally named my channel The Raven's Dream Possessive, but I decided last minute to go from Possessive to As the Raven Dreams because it was an active name. You can actually see artifacts of this from my Twitter handle, Raven's Dream YT. I made that before I decided to change the name. Gaming, music stuff, graphic design stuff. I think I play guitar decently enough. I could probably be a rhythm guitarist. I also quite enjoy writing and intend to republish my works under my pseudonym. What do I dislike? Easy. The amount of controversy and drama that seems to happen. I swear every week there is some new scandal bullshit that makes us all look bad. I wish more people based their opinion on individuals instead of the negativity that surrounds certain people, but so be it. Favorite movie? Office Space. Love that movie. In my opinion, best movie ever made. Starting your own channel is difficult, and you cannot walk into this expecting the world to love you immediately. You have to work your ass off to get anywhere, and if you're thinking about it, make sure it is something you honestly want to do. Also, whatever kind of channel you want to make sure it's something you enjoy. If you like your own content, it will shine through in the quality and the love you put into it. Basic equipment to start a narration channel. You need a microphone, video editing software, some headphones, and a good sense of direction. Make sure you have an idea of how you're going to do what you do. Also, really quick, sorry to add this, leave some empty space between your sentences. Don't screw up like I and so many others have done before in the past. Don't delete the empty space, leave it. Between the two, I prefer fantasy. I prefer Lord of the Rings style over pretty much any horror story that exists. When will I have merch? I actually already have merch. I have a T-Chips store. You can find the link in the description. There's also, I think, a Teespring store. I don't use it as much, but T-Chip is the one I plan to put everything on from here on out. And there are a few things there. I promise you there will be more merchandise that exists on the T-Chip store once I get a couple minutes to myself to actually make them. So, 61 questions. That's all 61. A minor thing I want to say here. I thought I had more questions, and I think I may have missed some of them. I tried my best to screen cap anytime someone asked me something on Twitter, but I think I may have lost some of them. So, if you sent me a question and I did not reply to it, I am very sorry. Just know that was not intentional. I did my best to keep them all in order. I screwed up, as I do because I'm human. It's what happens. All that said, I hope you guys can all take a moment to realize how much pointless information you now know about the person behind the voice. That said, thank you to everyone that watches this, doesn't watch it, is subscribed and is not subscribed, I guess. Honestly, just thank you to everyone. I really do appreciate all the support. And yeah, we hit 1,000. We're past 1,000. We're at 1,100 now. It's just gonna keep going. And I promise you I will keep going as long as I can. If I can't, I'll do my best to tell you. Much love. Sleep well.